Hey, welcome or welcome back. If this is your first time here, I am Jen. This is Space for Sunflowers. It is my crafty channel where I share market recaps, makes, all things crochet and knitting. So, yeah, welcome. If you like this content, please feel free to give it a thumbs up, maybe leave a comment, maybe even subscribe. Who knows? Today's video, we are going to be talking through my most recent market, which was a fantasy-themed market in Apex, North Carolina. I'm going to share the things that I made leading up to this market, as well as some footage from the day itself, and then, of course, a recap of how the day went overall. I'm also going to be sharing later, probably at the end of this video, an overview of this past month of March. I know this video is going live in April, but the past month of March for markets, because I had a record 4 market days in March, which is the most I have ever had since starting this business just about a year and a half ago. So lots of things to talk about. Yeah, let's get into the things. Hey, we're prepping for another market. It just won't quit this month. I love it. This is what I live for. So let's jump right in, since I will deal with organizing this whole video during editing. I have started on my fantasy specific market prep for this week in anticipation of the Geek Grub Fantasy Market this weekend. It's Sunday. The last market was last Saturday. So that was actually good, because I'm like, I have 2 whole weekend days to get ready for this market, in addition to the time I find during the regular week. So let's talk about what I've been working on so far. First up, Woolly Tunes released their cute little pack. It wasn't necessarily a pack because all the individual patterns are sold separately, but I got 2 of them. So this is Momo from Avatar and the Last Airbender. I made him in Naughty Pony with a 5mm hook, and I embroidered his eyes. I, of course, gave him his iconic bright green eyes. The Naughty Pony lime is just, oh my gosh, it's perfect. I also love the face shaping on this. This one, the pattern gives you very specific instructions for how to accomplish the face shaping, and it was for sinker eyes, but it works just as well for embroidered eyes. So I really enjoyed that, and I love the little shape that it gives his face. It just adds so much to the final plushie design. My goal is to have 3 of these total for the market, so I have 2 more to make, but he's just so cute. And he's pretty quick. I think all up it took me 45 minutes to an hour to make him. He was pretty quick little plushie. There was a little bit of sewing. We have to sew the head onto the body and the ears onto the head. Everything else is crocheted in or surface crocheted on afterwards. So great pattern. I also got from the same release the anime fox, which is the 9-tail kitsune fox pattern, but I didn't have any Naughty Pony orange until today. My order surprised me and came early. So, well, of course, this isn't it. I got 2 bags. But I'm so excited for this. I don't know why I skipped the orange the last time. It's a gorgeous color. I can't wait to make the fox out of it, but also this is the orange that I will be using to make my custom order for the raccoon, the orange and purple raccoon. So very excited. I now have a 9-tailed fox to make today, which, yes, I'm very excited. I'm so happy about that, because I was hoping it was originally supposed to get here tomorrow. And I was like, about the day before the market, if it gets here early enough in time, I can do it. Um, but I'm so glad it got here with an extra day because now I will definitely have time to have a nine-tailed fox for this market. Huzzah. Other makes I have made this week is I have been working to replenish my flying bison keychains. So I have 5 of them. My list included 5, so 5 were made. I love these guys. Super cute. Again, goes with Momo. So I now have Momo and Abba, if you know. But otherwise, just a very cute, quick pattern. This one is from Abajade Crochet or Abajade Art. I'll put the link below. He's a little fluffy. I did them in 2 different yarns. So I have 2 of them done with the white and posh pearl slash posh chic, just because I was going to be out somewhere and didn't want to bring my big cone of Premier Basic Chenille. That big cone hiding back there. I don't want to bring it with me. So, and I was like, well, I can make the bodies while I'm out. So I have 2 in the Posh Pearl, Posh Chic. And then once I got those done, I really did want to go back to the Premier Just Chenille, even though it's a pain, even though it sheds. I just love how soft and fluffy and chaotic the little hair loops look. And I just love everything about it. So I went back to the Premier Just Chenille for the last 3. Of course, his face is in Premier Retro Velvet. His legs and horns are in Burnett Velvet. And then his markings down the back are in also Premier Just Chenille. 4mm hook, cute little keychain. I debated putting a swing on these, but I don't do any swings or car swings right now. So I stuck with keychains because I figure why add chaos just yet if I haven't fully baked out the plan. So I have keychains. I made keychains. The next thing is in progress, but I have one done, and that is from Todd and James, the Nessie. I'm in love with this. I'm not going to lie. I think my tail is twisted, but I don't hate it. So I'm not going to worry about it. But I love it. I'm going to have 3 of these. I made this in Naughty Pony again. I love it in this bright, bright blue. I'm going to make a second one in the vibrant green because I think that would be really fun for a Loch Ness monster. And then I really want to make one that is white in the body, but the flippers are different pastel colors. So I have yellow, purple, blue, pink. Yeah, I think that would look really cute to have that for it. So yeah, I do need to time myself making this. I think it takes about 2 hours to make all together. It is extremely low sew. The only sewing on this pattern is the head to the body. Everything else, you start with the head, you surface crochet the gills onto the head, and then you make your flippers and your tail, and then you actually start the body with the tail. Mine ended up a little bit twisted because I accidentally grabbed the wrong hook. I started working on it last night in a 5mm hook. And then when I sat down at my desk this morning, I just grabbed the hook that was on my desk and didn't realize until I was about here that it's a 4mm hook. So things got a little bit twisted. One of the fins is slightly longer than the other, but honestly, I think it just adds to the charm of the overall sea beast. There are 2 different options. You can do a laying down version, and I think the head is up, or you can do the upright version. I chose to do the upright version just because I think this is so snuggly. I like how this like kind of just goes in for a hug. I might play around with another body style, well, not body style, but attachment style, or I might not. I haven't decided yet, but that's where we're at. So, my list today, I'm going to make 2 more Nessies, 2 more Momos, and a 9-tailed fox. I also have on my list Koroks, since I sold completely out at the anime market. I want to make some mandrakes to go with my garden section slash Harry Potter. Speaking of Wizard House, I need to make new Wizard House mystery boxes since I am almost completely out of those as well. I think I'm down to 2 or 3. And one of those I have to put in the new box because a kid came in and destroyed the box at one of the markets. So I've got a lot to do. I got a few days still before the market, but I'm going to get busy and we will check in when I have something else to share. And here are the finished Nessies. We have my dark blue one, the bright green, and then the pastel rainbow one that I was working on in that prior clip. Again, the design is from Metal and Mako, and the yarn is from Naughty Pony. And I also finished a baby mandrake with this week's makes. I will include the designer down below. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I know I used Premier Just Chenille to make this, and it was a super fun and quick make. I stuck him in a pot for the market itself and placed him with my Wizard House mystery boxes and owls to just add to the whole Harry Potter aesthetic. Market morning! We are packed up, ready to go. The car is pretty loaded. I might have a porthole out the back this time. So, heading on over to Apex to get set up and ready for the fantasy market. For the first time, I am submitting a couple of items to the raffle prizes. So I have one of the Elliot's Mushroom Boys. It was one of the first ones that I made before I realized you're not supposed to stuff the top, but he's still adorable. So he will go into the prize giveaway, and there's a card that I quickly printed out with my info on it. And then one of my backpack snails. His buddy sold, but he's been with me for a while, so I figured he could go to a good home. For once, I'm actually set up with time to spare for this market. So, quick pre market walkthrough. It's pretty much the same layout that I did last weekend at Waverly Place, but not Waverly Place, Fenton. Oh my gosh, wrong market. So, we've got our ocean life, I've got my new Nessies, hanging out with the axolotls. We've got Appa flying on the swing. Coasters, the Ag Buddies. I move this one in a little bit. All the Pokemon and Studio Ghibli. More axolotls. I am a scavenger hunt participant, so I have my scavenger hunt right out front. I didn't hide it. Got our Harry Potter, my new little mandrake sitting with the owls. The last remaining mystery boxes that I have. Move the pocket dragons over here. Not sure how that's going to go, but we'll see. I pretty much kept this the same as I did last time, except I put the little frogs and turtles over here with the bunnies. I think that works. Or anime, K-pop, gaming, Pokemon, and of course the dragon baskets. With Momo hiding in there. Got a couple things to finish making, so I'll go do that, and then we're ready to begin the day. So I did finish my nine-tailed fox. This is the anime fox low-sew version from Woolly Tunes. I had bought this pattern when I bought the flying lemur or baby lemur slash Momo pattern from them during the week or a couple weeks ago. And then I needed my order of Naughty Pony to come in so I could get this gorgeous orange, and just I am obsessed with how this came out. I also embroidered his eyes. I stuck with the orange, his little face mask, which is just worked in the round color changes as you do it. I think the only actual sewing on this whole piece is the ears to the head and the head to the body. All 9 of those tails are crocheted in the round as you go, and they just attach in a way that makes them splay out in a super fun, it's almost like a peacock way that they look from the back. And I love it. Love it. Finished it just before the market ended, actually, because he was my project that I worked on all day. Couple people picked him up and looked at him, thought he was going to sell, but not quite. Next time. All right, so let's get into the specifics of this market. This is the market I have done before. I did this market last year. I actually did 3 markets by the same organizer last year. One did not go well, did not. make back my booth fee. Um, it was an oversaturated market. It was also in an indoor space, and it was very loud. I was not having a good day that day. That wasn't this market this weekend, but one of the prior markets I had done, they always have a theme. So the one that I didn't have the best time out was the gaming market. I realized that that wasn't for me, even though I do have gaming makes, and I'm a gamer myself. It was just, I don't know, it was an off day. And then I've done the fantasy market, which is what this one was last spring. And then in the fall last year, I also did their wizarding market. So they always have a bunch of different themes, which is really fun. People come in costume, either vendors or just attendees. People show up in costumes. So there's various cosplay. I mean, we saw Star Wars Loth Cap puppets, we saw Jedi, we saw elves, dragons, people riding on inflatable dragons. Like, so I think someone was riding on an inflatable horse at one point. So, yeah, the cosplaying is always super fun. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this market. And I'll be honest, my goals for this market were not entirely monetary. I went into this market knowing it was not going to be a best selling kind of day. It's a fun event, it's a family friendly event. It's people who do like and appreciate the things that I make. They have the similar interests I do. I love fantasy. I love fantasy books, movies, games, you name it. So it's just a really fun way to spend the day, and it was a beautiful day. So that was my goal going into this, was just have a great day, have fun, enjoy the market. It was also the day before my birthday, so I was like, this would be a fun way to sort of celebrate my birthday and also do something for my business. So that was great. So getting down into the numbers, I had a total of 13 sales. The market ran from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., which was different. They used to have a 5-hour market, and that was one of the changes that I was happy to see going into this year, that they have reduced the amount of time because I always felt it went a little too long. They have a lot of events during the day that pull attendees away from the vendor space into the, sorry, these bangs are new and I'm like still figuring them out. So, also my cat scratched my forehead this morning. So, oh God, we've made it worse. We're not going to touch her hair again. So they do a lot of events that like are fun. Like they had Game of Thrones musical chairs. They have like a jousting event. They had some other events, but it pulls attendees away from the booths and the market. So 5 hours always felt kind of long for this one. And they also do raffles. So when people purchase from you, you're supposed to give them a raffle ticket and give them instructions for how to go do the raffle. The first raffle is only an hour into the market. This is not a market where people hit the ground running and like show up and are banging down your door to start shopping early. So the first raffle is always kind of a, I mean, if you're going to enter the raffle, enter the first one because there's no one in the first one, is my experience. So it's an hour into the market. The second raffle, they always had in the last hour of the market. So they've always had the second raffle at 4 o'clock, but the vendors were asked to not break down until 5 previously. And this was the other change that I was happy to see them make, is that the market ended at 4, the final raffle was at 4, vendors could break down at 4 because nobody's coming back to shop after the raffle is over anyway. So I'm glad that they've decided to like use that time to let the vendors break down while everybody's distracted, sort of filtering out, and then we can all get out of there at a decent time and not just be standing around waiting and watching the raffle, which always felt kind of like a letdown at the end of the day, because even if you had a great day, like you're standing there for the last hour because nobody's coming to shop during the raffle. So those are my thoughts on that overall. Couple of really good changes, and I do stand by that. I felt that they were good changes, um, which was great. I did contribute a couple of things to the raffle for the first time in this market. Just things that I had one mushroom guy where the yarn was kind of shredding away. I didn't put him into the raffle. I just wrote him off as damaged. He's a loss. But I did, I had a second one, which was no issues. So I entered that one into the raffle as well as the snailed it that I had made. I had made two snailed its last year, and one of them I didn't quite have the right weight yarn when I did the body for the color that I wanted to do. So the stitches are a little bit looser. It's not, it's cute. He gets a lot of attention at every market, but I figured it was time to let him go. He can go to a good home from the raffle. So that was exciting. And I made up little cards to, attach to them as sort of thank you and congratulations and my contact information. So that was great. I was happy to do that this time. I feel it was long overdue. I've always said that I would contribute to the raffle in the past, and I hadn't, just because I never have it together enough to actually think through that when I get there. This time also, my setup, I got there 2 hours early. I was set up completely done in an hour and a half. That's never happened before. The organization and the changes that I've made in my booth, and I changed my booth setup again. I was planning to do the exact same setup I had done at Hinton for this market. And then when I got in the day, I just started setting things up and realized I'm not setting this up in the same way I did it at Hinton at all. And that's okay. I ended up liking the setup. So, and it still got up quick. Breakdown, we were out there within 45 minutes. I did have helpers this time. My family is in town visiting, so they came and they helped me set up and break down. So that was really awesome. And they hung out with me during the day. So it was fun. It was a fun, relaxing day in the booth. And we made some sales. Let's get into it. Like I said, we had 13 total sales across the 4 hours. The busiest time of day was in the 1 o'clock hour. So pretty much right after that first raffle. I don't know, maybe people realize that that was how they get raffle tickets. So that was the busiest hour. Second busiest was 3 o'clock leading up to the end. So about typical of this market and the ebbs and flows that generally go with it. The total number of sales came to $284.75. The amount on card was $227.90 and $56.85 in cash. I paid $7.12 in Square processing fees, $17.75 in tax, and the booth fee for this market was, this one's always a little bit more on the pricier side, was $106.60 with all the taxes and whatever put into it. So grand total at the end of all of that was $153.28. It breaks down to about $39 per hour, with the average transaction being $20.54. So really good average transaction, very typical of this organizer and the type of events it does. I always say it's a better event than it is a market. So happy to be included in this one. I had a good time, had a great day, and I made some really surprising sales in a good way. So let's talk about that for a second. I think my best selling item overall was a set of scrunchies. I had one woman come up, first sale. I think she was the first sale yet again with scrunchies. And she sold, or no, I sold. I sold, she bought um 4 of them, which was great. Just all went. There you go. Right out the door. Wasn't the first sale of the day. That was the third sale of the day. So I think that was my overall bestseller in terms of like actual number sold. Okay, we're back. I was using the microphone that I had on me all day at the market, so I think the battery just died. So hopefully the sound's not too bad. I think I caught it. Fingers crossed. All right, so we'll start up from the top again. 12:40 p.m. Small pocket dragon. Believe it's AR Serendipity Designs. If I'm wrong, again, I'm so sorry. You guys might as well make this like a game. Bingo every week. Is she going to get the designer right for that one pattern? Who can tell? 1:04 p.m. was the most surprising purchase of the day in a good way. It was my stained glass boho bag. The stained glass granny crochet square that I use is from the Cookie Snob, and I had made, I forget how many squares go into this bag, but I had made several squares, put them together in a boho slouchy style bag, and added a strap to it. And this is the first one of these that has sold. I started selling them last summer, I think, and it was my black one. So it's a black bag with a rainbow variegated yarn behind the 3D part of the stained glass. If I have a picture, I'll put it up. I should have a picture. So exciting. I was thrilled to see this one go. Like, so happy. So hopefully that will be the start of those bags starting to sell. The trend has begun. 1:10 p.m. I had the sale of my 4 scrunchies. I just crochet around a elastic, which I get the elastics on Amazon. I do need to open up an Amazon storefront so that I can share what I use for these, but I really, really, really like the elastics that I use for the scrunchies. They're really good. They hold your hair really well. They're not too loose. They're the nylon, like sort of pantyhose style ones, so they don't have a seam. They don't stretch out. They don't break. Highly recommend. I looked high and low for those. 129, I sold the Hatching Monkey Out of a Banana by Green Frog Crochet. At 144, I sold A Baby Chick by Stitch by Faye. At 156, I sold my last remaining Coop the Chicken by Madeline Mako and a Standing Kitty Plush Mini. So this is the mini keychain cat, sort of loaf cat style, and that pattern is by Heclagurumium Balmer, I think. I'll put it on the screen. I'm so sorry if I said that wrong. 204, I sold a wristlet keychain. Haven't sold one of those in a minute either, so I was excited to see that go. I will have to look up the pattern for that. If I don't remember the pattern's names, designer names, they will all be linked in the description below, as always. At 301, I sold a Flying Bison keychain. This was one of the makes that I made specifically during the week for this market, and this one is by Abajade Arts. It's Abajade Arts. At 325, I sold a Pico hair scarf by the Turtle Trunk. At 336, I sold a mini turtle plush. I forget the designer's name, but the turtle pattern is called Turk the Turtle. At 341, I sold a mini axolotl plush. I don't remember the designer for that. I will have to get that one. And then at 358, I sold my second and final one of these I had, Sunburst Granny Square crossbody water bottle slings. And that is my pattern, which is still upcoming. So that's the day. So lots of exciting things. So happy to have sold a crossbody sling. I'm just happy to have sold all of it. But honestly, the crossbody sling, because it's my own pattern, I get very excited about. And honestly, the stained glass crochet bag, which the bag construction is my own pattern, but the granny square I get from the Cookie Snob. So very exciting. Awesome. So that wraps up a month of markets. I did the second day of the anime market, the Fenton market, the farmers market, and then this fantasy market all this month. I've never done that before. Honestly, would do it again, to be honest. I didn't mind. It was one market per weekend. One of those was the day 2 of a multi-day market, which was honestly a lot. I would consider quite a bit of factors going into doing another multi-day market again, but wouldn't write that out of the realm of possibility. I would do it again. All of the markets that I did, the farmers market, I will be back for in May. The Fenton Markets. That organizer does a couple different locations. I have my name in the ring for a few upcoming markets. Haven't heard back yet, so fingers crossed I will get to work with them again. And of course, the Geek and Grub Fantasy Market. I am going to stick with my original decision that this is my one and done of this market for this year, but that doesn't mean I won't be back for this market again next year. I did like it. I do enjoy it. It's fun. It's not my best selling record-breaking market, but it is a good time. I like connecting with the people. I get a lot of great feedback, and it's honestly just a really fun event that I like to be a part of. So that's the recap. There will be no video next week. I am, after my month of pushing nose to the grindstone, taking a little break, vacation for myself. I will be crocheting during this time, but I will catch up with another vlog in 2 weeks where I will share what I have been working on, already started, and what I will continue working on for my next market, which will be for a night market in April. So no market or no video this coming week, but in 2 weeks I will have hopefully an extra packed video to make up for it. Thank you as always for hanging out with me today. Again, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, maybe a comment, maybe a subscribe, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye.